Whoa, I get by with a little help from my friends. 8:25, back with an important message, given it is Alzheimer's Awareness Month here in the month of January in Canada. And joining us, Lisa Glanville and Morgan Donahue from the Society. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Lisa, a very important story, personal story for you. At the age of 78, your mother, Ollie, started showing signs of dementia.
Yep.
What did you see at the time, and what was the first thing you did to try to understand and support her?
Well, I didn't really understand what was going on in the beginning, and so I started going to workshops at the Alzheimer Society to sort of get that validation, because they were, they were like early signs, and then it just sort of got more complicated from there.
And those early signs,
yeah.
What could you see or feel that was different with your relationship with your mother?
It was just a change in roles, and sort of seeing things that weren't her normal self. And when I was trying to engage with her, she wasn't aware of it really so much.
The communication dynamic definitely shifted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Morgan, is that quite common, that the early symptoms of noticing the communication is different, and then those that are supporting loved ones really have to look at the way they're projecting and communicating?
Well, exactly, and so dementia causes damage to brain cells, and so that affects their ability to communicate with each other. So as caregivers or people supporting them, we have to step into their reality and understand how we can best support them by modifying how we communicate, whether that's slowing down, speaking more clearly in a quieter environment, and focusing on connecting rather than correcting them.
Well, it's a big responsibility on the part of the caregiver for you. Ollie, you live with your mom now?
Yeah. She moved in with me.
The amount of energy that you put into giving support, I think, could be overwhelming at times, and carers' burnout is a big factor. So what has been the biggest challenge for you to support your mother with this experience?
I just had no idea what I was doing. And I really didn't know how to handle it. So I lean really heavy on the Alzheimer Society, on everything that they offer. And I mean, that was education, validation as well, because it's sometimes the diagnosis can kind of come later. So you're kind of in limbo sometimes. So I was just taking workshop after workshop. So I was trying to educate myself.
Well, I think that's a great component. Morgan, we've got some tips. You mentioned some of these off the top, but how important is the art of just letting go in this process?
Absolutely. Letting go is key, not only for the person supporting the individual with the diagnosis, but also for the person living with the diagnosis, because they may not be able to understand what's going around them. So remembering who that person is, honoring that person, you know them best, you're the expert in them, focusing on their strengths and setting the stage so that they can communicate to the best of their ability with whatever changes are going on for them.
And for the changes happening, Lisa, early stages to middle stages, for anyone that's beginning to go through this, what's a realistic outlook of what they're going to experience?
I think you'll just be really overwhelmed. I mean, unless you've had experience with dementia before, you're in sort of unknown territory. So I think reaching out to family, there's the risk of burnout. I think that's a really important thing to prepare for, so that you're caring for them and also for yourself as well. Was it difficult to ask for help, or was it just something you knew that you needed to do? It was in the beginning, but then that sort of just went to the wayside because it was so overwhelming, and I was just so thankful that there was help. And what's been the healthiest outlet for you? Well, the education, the workshops, that with other people experiencing the same thing, that's major. Hearing their stories, getting tips from them because they're going through it as well. And then the helpline that the Alzheimer Society has, like you can just call anytime you need to, that was a huge help for me. Well, listen, we got that number on screen. AlzheimersBC.org is the website for more resources. Lisa, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story. And Morgan, thanks for the tips as well.
Thank you so much, yes.
Every little bit helps. It's an important month.